Through this first month and change of the season, this has been a fun rookie race so far. It's been relatively up in the air, back and forth. I mean, Michkov, Stankov, and Celebrini were probably looked at as the three favorites heading into the season, with some Lane Hutson sprinkled in there. Celebrini, of course, scores in his first game, then misses a few weeks with injury. He's only played 6 games, whereas the other frontrunners in terms of skaters have played between 15 and 18. He's shown his talent, though, in that small sample size, so if he stays healthy, I very much expect him to be part of this Calder race. Hutson has yet to score a goal, but not for a lack of trying, and he's a defenseman who's dazzled in basically every game. For a rookie D-man on a bad Montreal team, his numbers look pretty good. And if you've been watching him, you know that he's been so close to making them look even better. He may not be the favorite, but he's in this thing. Dustin Wolf has also played himself into this conversation. He's been rotating with Vladar basically game by game. Both have been solid. Wolf definitely looks like he has the potential to be a legit starter, but he's still so young, especially for a goalie in the NHL. I actually really like what the Flames are doing to ease him into it, shelter him, and develop him properly. And so far, his numbers and his play this year have reflected that. For him to beat out the other frontrunners here and to be the rookie of the year, he'd have to do a lot. With the talent of guys like Stankoven and Michkov, I'd say he'd need at least 50 starts with at least a .915 save percentage, in which case he would also have taken pretty solid control of the #1 goalie job in Calgary. Like, you look at what Steve Mason had to do in 09 to win the Calder: 61 starts, .916 save percentage, under 2.3 GAA, 10 shutouts. Definitely wouldn't be easy to win it as a attendee, but I do think he's talented enough to hang around the conversation. So I do think that Hutson and Celebrini are in the mix here. They're serious contenders, but so far at least it really looks like Stankoven and Michkov are going toe-to-toe here. They've separated themselves as the top 2 contenders. Stankoven, you guys know I think really highly of him as a player. He is 2 years older than Michkov and had 43 games of NHL experience last year in season and playoffs, but he's lighting it up nonetheless. He's 3rd in team scoring. Those 14 points lead the league in rookie scoring. He's got 1 more than Michkov, although Michkov was healthy scratch for 2 games, but Stankoven just looks like a star in the making here. Yes, he's playing on a much better team than Michkov. He's 2 years older. He played games in the NHL last year, whereas Michkov didn't. These are things that could potentially work against him for winning the Calder, but at the end of the day, if he's leading all rookies by 10, 15 plus points at the end of the season, the odds he wins are going to look pretty good. But here's the thing, Michkov's only 1 point back in the same amount of games played, with a lower caliber of team and line mates than Stankoven, especially on the power play. Just scored the OT winner in Ottawa, and despite being 9th on the team in average ice time and the 2 healthy scratches, he's still the marquee attraction in Philly this season, and I think right now has the slight inside track on Rookie of the Year. Now again, if Stankoven pulls away, which he very well could, it's a different story, but for right now, kid came over from overseas much earlier than expected. He's made an immediate impact and has already had to overcome some bumps in the road this year. It's a really tight race though. Last year it was between Bedard and Faber for most of the year. I know Hughes and Faber had the same point totals, but Faber's just so much more of a complete defenseman, was leaned on so much more by the Wild than Hughes was by the Devils. This year, yes, Michkov and Stankoven are duking it out so far, but there are a few other guys who I think could really spice this thing up and make this a much more fascinating, layered race than it was last year. Let me know your thoughts. Who do you think wins this thing? And who do you got as a dark horse pick? Honorable mention to that Siplikov kid in New York. He'd have to do something pretty special to win this award as a 26-year-old, but hey, great start to the season nonetheless as a rookie. And Jonathan Lekkerimäki just scored his first goal with the Canucks. That kid's going to be a player, and with Besser out of the lineup, he should get a pretty decent opportunity here. Not sure if it's this year or down the road, but he's going to score a lot of goals in this league. That'll do for this one. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you're new. Hope you're having a good weekend. I'll see you in the next one.